How we doing?
Good.
Good. All right, this is gonna be one of my favorite classes. Well, they're all my favorite. But I love to talk about animal messengers. I'm trying to get organized. Hey, Greg.
Hello.
All right, here's this. Just in a different view here. Screen, that's good. Okay. All right, so we'll wait a minute or two. Everybody else see it here. This there. Oh. There we go. Okay. All right, does everybody have a piece of paper to take notes or like a journal? Okay, very good. Good. So how was everybody's week? Good. Did any of us meditate and ask a question? No. That's okay.
I did.
Oh, you did? How'd it go?
I got a very, very strange answer.
Really?
Still trying to decipher it.
Okay, what was that?
My question is, what business can I start that helps the most people in this world and is also aligned with my highest path? Right?
Okay.
So the answer, which I have no clue where this came from or understand why, but septic. Like I have nothing to do, like I have no clue. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me.
Septic.
Right? Kind of weird, right? But septic companies in Vero Beach, Florida, make a killing. So
Do they? Septic. Okay, what about, are you interested in health and wellness?
kind of.
Kind of, but not really. So it wouldn't be like helping people like get healthier from like infections and stuff like that.
Probably not.
Okay, so then sure. So something that you never would have thought of. I mean, that's the thing. That's when you know that it is not from you. You know what I mean?
For sure. I have like zero ties to the septic industry or like know anything about it at all.
That'd be interesting.
Like I'm still just baffled.
Yeah. Well, that would be really interesting. Well, so my husband, boys, no. So my husband owned his own construction business for a while. And he's a really good guy. And we knew, and he doesn't do that anymore. He works with me actually, but we knew that his path was to be out there and like be a good person, because a lot of those roofers, they're you know, they try and get one over on you. They do terrible jobs, you know what I mean? Things like that. So we knew that it was necessary that he was out there doing people's roofs and not screwing people over and stuff like that, you know? Yeah. So that's definitely a lead for you to look into, you know? Let me see. Yeah. Well, you know what else you could do is you could ask for another option too, like, you know, if you want, so let me tell you something. So when I ask in meditation, I get answers. That doesn't mean that I always do it. You know what I mean? So
right.
before I moved here, I asked, where would we be the safest in Florida? Like what town, you know, what city or whatever. And I got Parrish. But I didn't want to move to Parrish. You know what I mean? Parrish is like out in the middle of nowhere. And so we didn't go there. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like maybe that was the correct answer for what I was asking, but I didn't want it, so I didn't do it, you know, but we're still
Right.
here, so there's that. All right, everybody else set? Let's get started. Okay. Let me get my notes up. Hold on, up here, where are they? Here we go. Okay. All right, so let's talk about how to raise your vibration. This is so important. Let me change the view here so I can see everybody. Okay, perfect. Boys, stop. All right. Why does it matter that we raise our vibration, our frequency? It is so important. So, resentment and guilt, you know, feeling less than, all of these things are all low vibrations. Okay, so depression is actually a term for vibrating at a low frequency. Okay, so is anxiety. All right, and you think about it too. You know, if your chemical, you know, imbalance isn't correct, right? You're obviously not vibrating in a high frequency, because our thoughts, our neurotransmitters, our brain, our nerves, our why can't I pull the word that I'm trying to say right now? Neurons, they're electric, right? They have impulses. Okay, so our thoughts are so important in keeping our vibration, our frequency high. And when you have a high frequency, you're operating at a high frequency, like with gratitude or with love. Gratitude and love are the highest ones. The universe can give you what you're asking for. Okay, so when we talk about manifesting, you always want to come from a place of gratitude and being grateful in the moment. Okay, so it's kind of like, oh, I'm so grateful for this. I'm so grateful for my job or for my career or whatever. Yeah, that's awesome. But in order to attract the most abundance, you want to be grateful in your career. Like, as I'm teaching you guys right now, like I'm in that gratitude for being able to be here, right? So, you know, just trying to let you guys know on what's the best way to vibrate high and attract what you want. Helping others is always going to bring more of what you want in your life. So today, so we call it tithing. Boys, here, let me get them out of here. Boys, let's go. Come on, boys, let's go. Out you go. When the energy is really high, they get excited. You know, that's how dogs are. Did you guys know they can smell a good mood on us? Yeah. So, all right. So I'm sure everybody's heard of tithing, or if you haven't, it just means, you know, it's like, I think it's like a religious term, but it means giving. Okay, so giving of money. And today I'm in that place where it's like, I know that I need to give money in order to receive more money. I just know that because that's the secret of the universe. You have to give in order to receive. So, and I'm in a place where I can do it, you know. So I tipped the waitress $50 today on like I don't know, it was like a $40 bill or whatever. And I gave a homeless person $125, you know, just because like it's my time to do that. And when the opportunities present themselves, I do that. And so being able to help others and like the gratitude, because really it's a gift for me, giving them the money, because I feel so amazing after doing that, after giving to somebody, after making their day. And when you do that, you invite more money in your life. You make more space, you make more room for amazing things to happen. So essential oils. Essential oils are plants. Plants hold extremely high frequencies. So let me tell you this one. So this one's called Idaho Blue Spruce. This vibrates at 510 megahertz, which is like, to give you an example, we vibrate at 68 to 72 megahertz, okay, as a human being. If you are sick, you have the flu, you're going to vibrate a little lower, you'll be, I don't know, we'll say like 65, 63. Um, Cancer vibrates below 50 megahertz. Okay. So when you really think about it, cancer is a disease of the mind. It always starts in the spiritual realm. It always starts in the emotional realm. Okay. All disease does. Okay. So let's just think about this for 1 second. If you're in a state of depression, trauma, fear, guilt, remorse, all of these things, is your vibration going to be high? Absolutely not. It's going to be extremely low. Okay. And this is where our body, because where we're vibrating, it tells your cells hear everything. So it'll tell your cells what to do. Okay. So again, depression, things like that, vibrated at, 50 and below, and so does cancer. So when you're putting on, this is gone. When you're putting on essential oils or plants, you're raising your frequency. Lavender, I love lavender. And that frequency is 110. And there's another one that's super high. It's rose, but so expensive because it takes like 25 pounds of rose petals to make one small bottle. That's 320 megahertz. So just knowing when you're putting essential oils on, you are raising your frequency. Okay. Flower essences as well. Does everybody know what flower essences are? They essentially, so there was this gentleman and he did his life's work studying flower essences. And what he did is he was treating emotional, emotional issues with the frequency of flowers. So he did like I said, his entire life he researched this, and he worked right next to a forest or whatever, and he would take the flowers, and you guys can make these yourselves. It's quite powerful. All you have to do is YouTube it. But you'll take a bowl of distilled water and you'll keep it out in the sun, and you put a few flowers in this bowl of distilled water, and the sun actually imprints the frequency of the flower into the water. Okay. And the frequency of flowers are able to treat emotional issues, fear, angst, anxiety, self-esteem issues, all of those things, because nature is meant to help us. So that obviously is going to raise your vibration as well, because you are ingesting the frequency of plants. That's why we feel so good when we eat vegetables as well, specifically raw vegetables, because their frequency is so high. You're ingesting that. You're ingesting life. Okay. So that's my next one, fruits and veggies. Okay. That will also raise your vibration. When I do readings, usually I'll eat a bunch of broccoli or broccoli and hummus. I'll eat a bunch of fruit and veggies to raise my frequency. Because when we are being intuitive, you need to match the intuitive energy, which is a high vibrational energy. Okay, so try being intuitive when you're terrified. It ain't gonna work. Try being intuitive when you eat you eat a half of a medium pizza and French fries. It's not gonna work. That food is so low vibrational. It's it's gonna bring your vibration, your frequency down. You're gonna have a hell of a time. And you can talk to any psychic medium. We all know, don't just eat good before your readings. Otherwise, you might embarrass yourself. Okay. Exercise will raise your vibration, your frequency as well. It's also great for trauma healing. You can remove all stuck energy from your chakras while you are exercising. Cardio is amazing for this. Just setting that intention, visualizing the energy coming up out of the chakras, especially you breathe in energy and you exhale the dark energy, the fear, the negative thoughts. Okay. So exercise is fantastic for healing and trauma healing. And if if things come up, it comes up to be released and you release it. Sometimes I'm at the gym and I'm crying because I'm releasing stuff, as I'm working out. It looks super weird, but you know, what are you gonna do? I've never been one to really care about what people think about me anyways. Staying hydrated is extremely important to raise your vibration, but being intuitive. And we'll talk a little bit, I guess I'll go into this, muscle testing. Is everybody familiar with kinesiology? Yeah, okay, some, yes, no, okay, so kinesiology. All right, so this is, you can do, there's a number of ways to do muscle testing. I'm not gonna teach you really how. But essentially what it is your body, your muscles know the truth. So if you ask yourself a question, and this is how I do it, if you can see my hand, let me get, okay. So I will rub my ring finger over my thumb, okay, like this. I'll ask a question. Was that bird a negative message or a positive message? Positive or negative? Neither. Okay, lesson. Okay, it was lesson. Okay, so I'll tell you about that. All right. So when you rub your finger, some people could do their middle finger. When you ask a question, you're connecting to your higher self. Okay, and you say, okay, let me say, are the Bills going to win their next game? And I would muscle test. No, they're not. Shocker. But what's happening is my body, my muscles know the truth. And when I ask a question and my body's telling me, yes, it's the truth, there's an electrical charge. And when there's an electrical charge, your papillae on your fingertips raise up. So it sticks, if you can see. So is my name Jamie? It's sticking. Is my name Mark? No. So my papillae is not rising because anything, if you ask yourself a question and it's a no answer, there's no charge. There's no electrical impulse at all. So my papillae would not raise. Okay. So, but my whole point in telling you this question, there's multiple ways you could do it. You could just look it up. You could do it like this, like your muscles will clench. If it's a yes, they'll hold tight. If it's a no, you'll be able to pull your finger out of this like this. Okay, so if you guys want to do some work on that, just do some YouTube. It's unbelievable. It's such an amazing tool to have. People go to school for this. A lot of naturopaths will do muscle testing for their clients. Like, do they have, lead poisoning? Is there metals? Is there parasites? What kind of parasites? Where is it in the organs? Stuff like that. And they'll do the muscle testing because our bodies know the truth. Okay. Anyways, you cannot do muscle testing if you are not hydrated. All right. And you think about water being a conductor, right? So that's also really important for intuition. Sugar will cut your intuition right off. Okay. I cannot do muscle testing if I just ate candy. There's no charge at all. None. I don't even feel nothing. No, it's not sticking. It's nothing. Okay. So candy, sugar is absolute trash. Nobody should be eating it. It's terrible for our bodies. Do I eat it? Hell yeah, I do, because everything in moderation. But I'm definitely not eating it when I need to be intuitive. Okay. Okay, what else? Crystals. Crystals are going to raise your vibration. They also have a very high frequency. If you keep them on you, you're raising your vibration as well. Meditation is going to completely rewire your brain. It's going to give you more gray matter in your brain. You're going to be able to connect easily. Also, what's so important is being grounded for intuition. If you're somebody who is a little bit like flighty, it's going to be harder for you to connect. Okay. Animals will raise your vibration. Animals are healers. They're here to help us heal, especially dogs and cats. All right. Their whole purpose for being here is healing us. Okay. Gratitude, dancing. Dancing is a really, really great tool to raise your frequency, and singing as well. And they've actually done studies on people who were singing, taking their frequency, like recording their frequency before they started singing, and then recording while they were singing, and their frequency actually goes up. it raises, okay? So that's super cool. So if you ever want to get into a really good mood, just, start singing. Okay. Food and detoxing. Okay, so did we talk about fluoride? Did I tell you guys where fluoride came from last time? No, I didn't. Okay. Fluoride is a heavy metal, okay? The kind that is in our water and in our food and and our toothpaste and what they use for dental cleanings is a heavy metal, okay? Fluoride came from Germany. They used high doses of fluoride and they gave it to the concentration camp captives to sterilize them and to keep them docile so they didn't fight back. Okay, so this was in their water and they made them take this. Okay, so we brought that over from Germany and we also, so that's why it's in our water. Okay, it also will calcify the pineal gland. So and it's like this super woo-woo thing to talk about. When you really talk about it medically, that little gland absorbs and attracts the fluoride as a heavy metal. Okay, so that's another reason why they do it, is to cut your connection off so you are not intuitive, so you don't kind of fight back or push back. Okay, they want you to be kind of in the dark and just blindly trusting. Okay, so this is, any kind of heavy metal is going to keep you more docile. That's why brain fog is huge with people who have heavy metal toxicity. That's why children with who have had like vaccine injuries or have ingested a lot of metals like lead or anything like that from a crib or from paint or toys or whatever it is. All right, so they'll have cognitive issues because it's keeping them from communicating. Okay. And also ASD children, a lot of ASD children have vaccine injuries from all of the aluminum. And what happens is these heavy metals cross the blood-brain barrier and they cut off our connection to the spiritual world. Because if you think about it, what do you think metals are going to do to electrical impulses? Throw a bunch of metals into electrical impulses. Do you think they're going to fire properly? Absolutely not. Okay, so this is causing a lot of issues like depression, anxiety, all of these things in our world. Okay, so it's extremely important to detox yourself from heavy metals. Okay, and keep an eye on our children. So you do it, the way you can detox from that is obviously PBX. That's what I have my entire life has changed because of that, because of what happened to my daughter. Most of you guys know that. And she legit will also help with that. And garlic is really great for detoxing as well. It will kill like any viruses, any bacteria, and all those things are low vibrating. Okay, it'll also kill some parasites, and so will celery juice. Okay, so but there's a specific way to use all of these things. Food for intuition: broccoli, kale, apples, berries, any food with a high vibration. So pretty much any sort of if you think about beets and the root vegetables, those are going to ground you. And anything, like any kind of berries is going to raise your it's going to lift you up a little bit more. Okay. Do we have any questions so far? Okay, so animal messengers. I don't know what I would do if I didn't have this knowledge and guidance from animals in my life. And my hope is that you guys adopt that as well. They have gotten me through so many hard times in my life and so many times of uncertainty. And when I saw these messengers, I knew what I needed to be doing and I knew where I needed to be going, or I was receiving comfort that I had made the right decision or whatever it was. So let's talk about the first one. So deer. Does everybody have deer around them where they live? There's actually deer here, Greg. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. I've seen any.
Yeah. They're weirder. They're like a smaller deer, but yeah.
They were all over. I haven't seen any in Florida yet.
Yeah. I've only seen them like maybe 2 times in 6 months, but so deer are a symbol of perseverance. Okay. And there have been, so let's talk about this. So I like to tell stories so you guys kind of understand. I remember when I first started, I was still serving, I was still a server. I didn't believe that I could actually make like a good income from being a psychic medium or a professional intuitive. And I was driving home from my serving job. But prior to that, I think the day before that, I did a psychic medium party, my first party ever. So I go to this woman's house. There were four women there. They were just like, let's have an intuitive party, whatever. So I was so nervous and terrified. And there was one woman there who I could not read. I mean, she blocked me so hard. It was like the worst experience I think I've ever had in a reading because number one, I was so nervous. But number two, I wasn't getting anything for her. Like I was like talking, I was saying things. It was like I was pulling all these people forward, and she's like, no, like I don't know who that is. And a lot of times, if somebody doesn't understand like how messages come through, some people, they want to hear like, you are going to receive $50,000 on April 16th of next year and and all these things. And that's really not how it works. You know what I mean? So anyways, I was so down and out about that experience. It was like, I might as well just not do this anymore. Like just throw this right out the window. I'm not good enough. So I'm driving home and I'm thinking about that. I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I even doing this? I'm thinking like, I'm not special. I don't have strong enough abilities, all these things. And so it was nighttime and all of a sudden I'm thinking this and a deer literally runs into my car, falls down and gets up and runs away. And I knew the meaning of deer at that time, but it was spirit telling me like, you need to persevere, like you need to move through this. And like, thank God for that message. I don't know what would I have done if I didn't get that? Would I have given up? I quite possibly could have, Deer are in my story so many times. There have been times where they always come to me when I'm so down and out. There was another time where like, it was just bad. It was with a bunch of girls and they had an issue and, it was like kind of like an internet thing. It was in recovery, Todd, and a bunch of girls had stuff to say about my career and about what I was doing. And I was just like really upset about this because they were friends, so-called friends or whatever. And I remember like being on the phone talking about this with somebody and like being really, really upset, almost in tears. And I lived on a dead-end road, I lived on a dead-end road in the suburbs. And I remember just like looking, down the road and there were 4 deer standing there. Like, I don't know, 30 feet away from me. They just like came and walked up the street. And it was at that point where I was just like started crying because I knew that what I was doing was my path. And it doesn't matter what other people think about my path or what they have to say. And it was actually 4 of them. So numbers are important as well. And we'll be talking about numbers too. So those are my 2, I have so many stories about deer, but just to kind of give you guys an example or 2 examples. Grasshoppers. So grasshoppers need, number 1, they're good luck. And number 2, they mean trust your inner voice. Okay, so I remember I had to speak at this really big event and I wasn't prepared at all. And I was like, I actually think I was prepared, but I was just so nervous. And I had wrote in a list of like what I was going to say, like a play by play, like this happened and this happened and this and this and this and this. And I didn't feel good about that. I really didn't. But I was also afraid to just like wing it and speak from the heart, because what happens if that didn't happen? Like, what happens if I went, totally blank? So anyways, I had my piece of paper in my hand and I was walking in to go like give this big speech, this hour-long speech, and a grasshopper crossed my path on the way right in the door. And I knew, it was then that I knew that I needed to throw that list out and I needed to speak from my heart. And that's what I did, and it went absolutely fantastic. Okay, so butterflies. Butterflies are usually a deceased loved one, okay? Unless you have another meaning for it, or transformation, okay? Going through a period of transformation. Dragonflies mean destiny, charted, prosperity, okay? So you're on the right path. If you're talking about something and you see a dragonfly, it's a yes. It's a yes, keep going, okay? So abundance, knowing money's coming, stuff like that. Groundhogs. So groundhogs mean you need boundaries. You need to set up boundaries, okay? You need boundaries with a friend, with a family member, whatever it is, okay? Raccoons. So I love raccoons so much. I actually just saw one yesterday and it was really good. So raccoons can mean one of two things. So also know this, if any of you are gonna go on and learn psychic mediumship, these animals will come to you in visions as well, where you're just kind of doing readings and you'll just, flash a deer or whatever it is, okay? They can also come in spiders, but also if you're just kind of asking a question or you're going throughout your day and you see that, or you're walking in Target or wherever it is, you know what I mean? And you walk by a coloring book that has an animal on it that you're drawn to. That is also a message, okay? I can't tell you how many times that has happened to me, and when we get there, I'll about this animal, I'll tell you. So raccoons mean, like I said, two things. One, it can mean that you need to have more fun, okay? So if you think about raccoons, they're super clever. Like you just look at them, they always look like they're having fun, okay? Or they look like they're getting into mischief. All right, so it's either you need to have more fun, bring more fun into your life, or for me, it means that a significant other is cheating. So that's what it meant in my reading practice. If somebody asked me about their relationship and I saw a raccoon, I would be like, don't trust that person. They are sneaky, they're manipulative, so that was always my symbol for it. Okay. So one of two things. So it could mean sneaky, it could mean deceitful, all right? Things like that. Spiders are my favorite thing to see ever. I have such an amazing relationship with these animal messengers and so many fond memories of it. And I really honestly, that's my hope, is that you guys get that too. So spiders mean money is coming. So don't kill them, okay? Don't kill the messenger when they're just giving you a message of money's coming your way. There was one day, and it was actually here, it was recently. I was getting out of I don't have a creaky house. It's a new build, you know what I mean? Like there shouldn't be, bugs in here or anything like that. And it's just really weird. So I was getting out of the shower and I was like, I dried my hair off, put my towel around me or whatever. And I just felt something like on my back here. And I was like this, and I went like that to, I thought it was a hair, and it was actually like a string and a spider right at the end of it. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay, thank you so much, because I was actually worried about money at that time. And that's usually how it always happens. I'm worried about money and a spider comes along my way. There was another time too. It was in my dresser drawer. Like there was a spider in my dresser drawer. you know? But when I open that drawer and I see the spider, I'm like, oh, okay, I don't have to worry, you know? So spiders are amazing. They're amazing animals, or animals, insects. I love them so much. Okay, rabbits. So rabbits are a symbol of fertility and new beginnings. Okay, so it, you know, fertility doesn't necessarily need to mean having a child, but also it could, you know, fertility meaning abundant, new things are coming, a new business adventure. Okay. Cats. Oh, I skipped 2 of them. Okay, lizards. Lizards mean pay attention to your dreams. Okay, meaning your, you know, physical dreams, like when you're dreaming, and it could also mean, you know, your goals and your dreams. But mostly for me, it means like listen to your dreams. If you're dreaming some weird stuff, make sure you look it up. Okay, because there's messages there for you. A skunk, if you see a skunk that crosses your path, that means, I mean, what do you think when you see a skunk? You're like, oh, I should like tread lightly. You know what I mean? So that's exactly what that means. Is when you're making decisions, really think about them and kind of move forward with caution. Okay. So it doesn't necessarily mean anything bad. It's just asking you to, you know, make a cautious decision. Cats. So cats will either mean deceit, somebody's lying. Okay, don't trust somebody, or they're just the classic intuition sign. Okay, if you see, I mean, in the tarot deck, cats always mean intuition. Okay, somebody who's intuitive. So it could mean just trust your intuition. And this is where like muscle testing plays a really good role in all of these things, you know, where you can just kind of muscle test and like, was that cat deceit or was it trusted by intuition, you know, things like that. That's why I love muscle testing so much. Okay, so snakes. I love snakes. So snakes can also mean deceit. 3 things. Snakes can mean deceit. It can mean like transformation. You're changing. You know, you're transforming into somebody new. Okay, healing, and it's also very medicinal. Okay, so when I was doing readings, if I saw a snake wrapped around somebody's knee, for example, I would know that they had knee pain. Their knee was in need of healing, or maybe they needed surgery or something along those lines. Okay. And that's why with the like the medical symbol, there's the 2 snakes around it. I think that it's because they're all snakes, but cardinals. Cardinals are they're a dead person. They're a loved one. There's no other way around it. It's somebody you love on the other side who is making an appearance. And the first person you think of when you see that cardinal, it's them. Foxes. Nobody ever wants to see a fox unless you have your own specific meaning for a fox. If you have an affinity for foxes, if you love foxes, if it's your spirit animal, then that's what it is. But if not, foxes mean deceit and manipulation. Nothing good is gonna come, right? So it's kind of like giving you a warning. If you see a fox, they're very cunning. Okay, so you just make sure so spirit will send you a fox when you need to really pay attention, and it never fails. Every time there's something weird going on, or somebody I don't trust, or somebody's, you know, got some tricks up their sleeves, I will see a fox. It will cross my path. Okay. And if it's by a fence, that means like, see, I don't want to say like the dark and you guys be afraid of the dark. So it's kind of like, how do I phrase this? There's always going to be polar opposite energies. And I don't want us to, you don't need to think about them as like these demon monsters or anything like that, right? It could just be a negative energy in your life. But when you see a fox by a fence, it means that there's some negative energies around you. All right. And you really need to just evaluate and take a look. And a lot of times too, when you are about to move up a level in success in your life, in your career, is a personal transformation, things will go wrong. And it's kind of like it tries to pull you back down, but you always just move forward and you push even harder when those things happen. Okay. So if you ever see a fox by a fence, be like, not today. Okay. And you just move forward and you use caution, but you stay and you have a high vibration, a high frequency. And let me tell you something. If you do not subscribe to any dark energies, you don't allow it in your life. You don't give it permission to be in your life, and that is what will happen, because we create our own reality. Okay, so the dark energies need permission, and by not giving them permission, you're giving them permission. Does that make sense? By omitting permission or not saying you do not have permission, they have permission. Does that make sense? So we just need to acknowledge and say, you don't have my permission. Okay. And it's not going to be in your life. So for anybody who focuses on stuff like that, that's what you're going to bring. That's what you're going to see. Okay. We focus on archangels. We focus on our spirit guides, on ancestors, on God, on spirit, whatever it is. That's what you always focus on, and you don't even acknowledge anything else. Does that make sense? Okay. Ravens or crows are very magical. Intuition. Okay. If you got a bunch of ravens or crows on your front lawn, somebody's gonna die. It's just how it goes. Here's the thing, if you subscribe to that, that's your sign. Do you know what I mean? If you subscribe to that symbol, then that's what'll happen when somebody's going to pass. Okay. Herons. I love seeing them a lot. I also have a raven as a spirit guide. So animals can be spirit guides as well. If you see animals when you close your eyes, when you meditate, okay, these are your spirit guides. Herons. So herons really want you to pay attention to what you're thinking about. Is your intention and true alignment with who you are? Are you being true to yourself? I want you to take a look and look deep within and just check in with yourself. With number one, are you being conscious of your thoughts? And number two, is this path that you're on aligning with your true self? Questions? Okay. Cool. So we're gonna do an exercise. Do you guys want to do an exercise? You want to test your intuition? It'll be really fun. So I'm gonna actually have to be a partner with one of you because we don't have an even amount. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna break up into partners, and if you want to close your eyes, this might be easier for you. I love to close my eyes. I just see better that way, and you will see better in the dark versus if you have a light on or it's daylight. Okay. If you are somebody who's kind of clairvoyant, but you don't need to be clairvoyant to do this exercise. So what we're going to do is our partner is going to ask a question. For example, should I go into septic, right? Should I do that? Should I do that for a business? Should I explore that as an option? And I would say, okay, let me ask spirit. And I would close my eyes, and you're going to picture, and you should talk about this. You should just say it out loud. what you're gonna do is you're going to picture walking down a path and you're going to see a forest up ahead. So you're walking, so say there's a bunch of, like wheat or whatever it is, just swaying in the wind, and there's this one path and it's leading you into this forest. So you're gonna close your eyes and you're like, okay, I'm walking down this path, walking down the path, I'm walking into the forest, and there's gonna be a bench up ahead. So you're going to sit down on this bench and you're gonna ask Spirit to show you an animal messenger for your partner, okay? And you're gonna sit down on the bench and you're gonna close your eyes, and you're gonna begin to hear an animal either walking up behind you, maybe it's in the tree, wherever it is. I want you to hear the noise of the animal, and you're obviously sitting there metaphorically with your eyes closed, and you're gonna hear this animal, and you're gonna open your eyes and you're gonna know what animal is staring you in the face, and this is a message for your partner. So let's say it is, okay, let me see, what animal would this be that's walking up? First, for some reason, I'm seeing a, a porcupine. So I would interpret that porcupine. I would be like, okay, well, I'm seeing this porcupine. It looks really calm. It looks like it doesn't have to have its defenses up. It looks like it doesn't need to be worried about anything at all, or whatever. And it's just, so you would just kind of interpret what that animal would mean as an animal messenger. And I don't know what a porcupine means as an animal messenger, but what I would believe is that there's no rush and time is actually going to tell, and something will actually just fall right into your lap. So that's what I read for the porcupine. Okay, does that make sense? Does it make sense to you guys? I mean, kind of. I know the message probably doesn't with the porcupine. That's probably a bad example. But you're gonna walk down the path, you're gonna sit down on a bench in the forest, you're gonna listen, there's an animal that's gonna walk up next to you, you're gonna open your eyes, and you're going to interpret that animal as an answer for your partner, okay? All right, so we're gonna do breakout rooms. Don't be afraid, just be like, she's crazy, this is so silly, but I'm gonna have fun, okay? So that's all you have to do. 3 breakout rooms, 2, 3. All right, you guys ready? All right, so we'll do like 2 minutes. We're gonna do 2 minutes each. Okay, so your partner's gonna have to ask a question. You're gonna go through, you're gonna walk down the path, you're gonna sit down on a bench, keep your eyes closed, you're gonna hear the animal, you're gonna open your eyes, you're gonna interpret this animal and answer their question from this animal. This animal is giving you a message for your partner, okay? And then you're gonna do vice versa, and then your partner's gonna go, okay? And if you want, keep your eyes closed. It'll be a lot easier that way, okay? All right, here we go. Okay, so move to main session. Hi.
Hi.
Okay, so you got me.
Oh, yay. I was hoping I would.
Yeah, well, see, you did that.
Yeah, but I'm really nervous that I got you.
Yeah, don't be nervous, dude. I'm like the most easygoing person ever. And I'm also the easiest person to read because I know what everything means. You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna, like, if you would have had somebody else, they would have been like, oh, okay, yeah, I don't know what that means. I'm gonna be like, yep, I know what it means.
I'm worried that it's not going to work for me though.
No, don't worry, it will work.
Okay.
Just trust yourself.
Okay.
Okay. So you want me to go first?
Yeah.
It'll be good, right? It'll be good for me to give you an example.
Okay. Yeah.
What's your question?
I don't even have one. Let's see. Am I going on the right path? Is that too broad a question?
No, it doesn't have to be. No. All right, so let me just let me connect. All right, so All right, so I'm walking down the path. I'm looking down at my feet, and I also see that like it's a dirt road. It feels really good. I feel really grounded. I have bare feet, so I really want to kind of tell you that's really important for you to connect to nature. I feel like that you are an empath. I feel like that's so important for you, and that you are actually really in need of that. And that's like kind of when you're in your truest and purest form is when you're around nature, because you get electrically charged up and you do need the negative ions from the earth. Okay. That'll also make you a lot more intuitive. Oh, you were also like a legit witch in your past life as well too.
Oh my God. I have thought this before.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you were for sure. So that's super
Oh.
cool. That was like kind of coming in. So I really
Oh.
want you to go back and connect to those roots, to that past life, because like you were in all of your glory then, and it was
Yeah.
so important for you, and it's literally still a part of your soul. So I
Oh.
want you to pull that back in. Okay, so that is a part of your path, is staying connected to that energy, staying connected to your power. So I'm just going to continue walking in, and like green witch, so a lot of like herbs and things like that are really important. I would like you to kind of play around with that and take that up again. And so let me just kind of continue walking in. All right, and I'm going to go. And do you have a lot of anxiety? You have a lot of pressure, like
Yeah.
pressure on you right now? I feel that. I feel like my breathing is labored. Okay, so I feel like you need some room to breathe. I feel like you need some time, and that's really important. Okay, so making sure that you take that time, and for your self-care, you need silence. Does that make sense? You
Yeah.
need time to be quiet and to sit with yourself, and you need to make like this special meditation regimen. Okay, that's so
Yeah.
important for you. Um, and like the incense and like the altar and the crystals and all those things.
Yeah.
Okay, and doing like a daily card pull, you need that to connect with yourself. And they're kind of telling me like more will be revealed. That's the thing, is like, all right, let me just kind of see, let me sit down and say, okay, what kind of, all right, so I'm seeing a bobcat. So I feel
Oh.
like you're somebody who's like really, well, is a mountain lion, sorry, it's a mountain lion. Somebody who's very kind of fierce, but also very protective.
Mhm.
I feel like you are somebody who's extremely protective and like really loyal. Okay, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Um,
Yep.
and I also, it's kind of like timing is everything. That's what they're saying, is timing is everything. It's kind of like waiting for that perfect moment, but you need to focus on yourself first, and make sure that you are in alignment. And the thing is that you're not in alignment at this time. You are on the right path, but you just, once you make that time for yourself and that healing, because you have some healing to do,
Yeah.
everything is just going to open up and it's just going to come, no problem.
Okay. Can
Okay.
I show? I
Yeah.
legit bought this book. I'm not even lying. I just bought it.
There you go, girlfriends.
I'm so blown away. You're amazing.
Oh,
Wow.
thank you.
Gosh, wow. I actually teared up when you said that about being a witch in a past life, because I've actually had this conversation with my sister. So
Yep.
Well-
So was I, dude. So was I. There were a lot of us.
Yeah.
History has really been hidden from us. And it was like, it's crazy how many women they like burned at the stake and all of those things.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, mine's not going to be like
Well,
yours.
don't worry about that. I know.
Okay.
Just walk down the path and sit on a bench and tell me an animal, and just, all right. So I have to ask you a question.
This animal, that's the goal, is to
Yeah.
see any.
Yes, an animal
Okay.
messenger.
Okay.
And yeah, and you'll learn too, like with these metaphors, I guess I would say, for lack of a better term, you'll notice like you read everything around you that you're seeing, like, because it's all a message. Does that make sense? All right.
Okay.
Okay, what's my question? Okay, will I reach my goal? Will I reach my goal within 3 months for work?
Will you reach your goal in 3 months? Okay. So I'm walking into the forest. Um, do I keep talking the whole time?
Yeah, it helps.
Okay, sorry. So I'm walking into the forest. There's a dirt path. I'm following the path. The trees are blowing. I see the bench. I'm gonna sit.
Mhm.
I look up and I see, let's see. I don't, a caterpillar?
Okay.
I
Okay.
have no idea.
Okay, that's good. All right. So interpret it. What do you think a caterpillar means for reaching my goal? It means I still have growth, doesn't it?
Yeah, I would say that growth, but I would think that you will get there because I mean, it's going to be a beautiful experience, but I think, yeah, you would probably get there.
Yeah. We still got some growing to do, it sounds like. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn. Well, it is what it is. I know the truth. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh.
I know the truth. I need to focus more on family life and being grounded, just kind of like the same message I gave you. So
Mm.
that's
Yep.
what I did. All right, cool.
Oh, yeah.
All
Awesome.
right. Well, let's give them one more minute. Do you have any questions or anything?
I don't know. Maybe. See.
Or any like just, questions about intuition or
Yeah, so this past year, it's been like a difficult year for me, but I feel like I have grown so much. Like it sounds so silly, but I've never loved myself as a person. I freaking love myself now. Like I've let so much go. Like I've been working on so much like healing and that, and it's just like it's so amazing. And I try and explain it to my husband, and he's like, "Yeah, I get it." And I'm like, "No, you don't get it. Like you actually don't get it." But it's just, I don't know. It's so crazy to me because I don't want to say I've always struggled from like anxiety and depression. And I really feel like so much has lifted off of me. Like I've gotten into the crystals and like I recharge them every full moon. I do the moon water, and like I actually got my daughter into it too. She's only 9, but she's obsessed with it now. It's like so cute. But yeah, I don't know. You think like obviously I think that's a good thing, but you think like that is a good thing for me, like that I have been making the changes and
absolutely, you're stepping into who you're supposed to be. That's why.
yeah,
That's why you finally have found yourself and your purpose and your path, and
Mhm.
tapping into who we were talking about before, who you were before and a past life. And that's
Yeah,
so
yeah, because
continue.
like my parents aren't very receptive of this, but I'm kind of like I don't give a flying crap what you think.
You can't. You can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Good stuff. I'm happy
Yep.
for you. That's what
Yeah.
happened to me too. That's what
Yeah.
happened to me too. Depression, anxiety, freaking mood swings. I had been, I don't know, diagnosed with everything that you could possibly, and it wasn't. It was just because society isn't meant to allow us to work on self. It's not meant to allow us to follow our intuition and follow our hearts. It's
Yeah. It's so disgusting, but yeah.
Yep. So yes, I had the same story. Hi everybody. Okay, so we're waiting for 2 more people. How'd it go?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, Todd got a squirrel and we both don't know what that means.
Oh, it means you need to prepare. You need to prepare for something. But squirrels they move fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They move fast. They're always grabbing like nuts and they prepare and they hide things away and all that stuff.
Prepare. Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's like
That's-
saving money, you know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
really kind of getting in the habit of just getting situated and organized, Greg, is really what I want to say. That's what I feel. Yeah. So so for sure. Okay. Anybody else want to talk about what happened?
Want to talk about it, Heather?
Sure. Yeah, ours were very surprising, I guess is the best word. Like it made too much sense that it was almost like we made it up,
Okay.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
I agree.
So it's
That's
kind of,
intuition. That's intuition
yeah,
for you.
and it's kind of scary because I don't fully trust my intuition. So
It was like a weird amount of like, we both didn't quite know anything about each other. So even though I was telling Heather when we started, I'm like, I have such a hard time seeing in my mind's eye, but like I had this really hard feeling of yes before I knew it was you and like had the chills. And then I'm sitting there and I'm like, all I can see is this like Disney movie deer like right behind me, which is really silly. And she's like, oh my gosh, yesterday you pulled the Perseverance card, right? That
yeah,
was
and
our
I saw a deer
Yeah.
both yesterday.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
And it was the same question that I asked Crystal was the question I asked yesterday morning when I pulled the card.
Oh my goodness. Don't you
Yep,
love that?
it was a really funny. I was much more cryptic with my question, but her response was like more accurate than
It's very, very weird.
it was a really cool, it was a really
was.
intuitive 2 minutes, 4
Yes.
minutes.
Yay. Okay, that's so amazing.
I have a quick question, Jamie. When you see things, I think me and Heather both had the same. Like she said, she can sometimes see in her mind's eye better, and I have such a hard time. Do you always like see things, or do you like hear things, or like do you think it? Because I can't see a
All of
picture to
that.
save my life.
Listen, you don't need to see a picture. If you just, you know what your car looks like, right?
Right?
Are you seeing it in your mind? Are you like really seeing it, or do you just know what it looks like?
Right. Right. You just know what it looks like.
You just know what it looks like. That's what intuition is. Okay.
Yep.
That's
So you're
what-
just thinking it.
That's right. So it's all of it. It's hearing things. It's feeling things. It's just all of it. It doesn't have to be just seeing. You know what I mean? So
Right.
just trust and even if you're like you don't see it, but you know it's a butterfly. You're like, I don't really see the butterfly. I just know that's it too. Okay. And there's a lot of times where that happens to me. I don't actually see it. I just know I'm seeing a butterfly. It's a butterfly. I don't know. It's not really there, but I just know it's there. Does that make sense?
Right. Right. That's like your inner thought more than your inner vision. Okay. That makes a lot of sense.
Yep,
Okay.
yep, inner thought. That's perfect. Okay. So Greg, what did you see?
I saw a big bear, but what I noticed the most was just it was big and slow moving.
Okay.
And his question was if he should get a new car, and it was between a Tesla and a truck. So I interpreted that as a truck.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely, for sure. What was your question, Greg?
If I'm on the right career path.
If you're-
That's where I'm struggling the most in my life, is trying to find out what the heck I'm doing with it.
What career path are you on? What are you doing?
So I'm in real estate right now,
Okay.
but I am almost done with my license here in Florida.
Okay.
And I don't love real estate, so I might
It's
start a
not for you.
business.
It's not for you. I know.
That's the
I'm sorry.
yep, no, yeah, I
You
know that.
though, but you already know it.
I know that's what's the hard part. That's what I'm trying to figure out here, is because I'm gonna start a business. I just don't know what yet.
Yeah, more will be revealed. And that's what the preparation is talking about in the squirrel. And it's just kind of like you need to just like do your research and meditate and just think about like what makes you happy. You need to figure out what you love and then you find out how to make money doing it. That's just is what it is. That's just the foundation, the truth. That's, you know what I mean? So
Well, I definitely don't love dealing with other people's crap, so I don't know if
That's right.
septic is the one.
right, and you know what? It'll make sense down the line. So
It
listen,
always does. It always does.
so let me tell you something. So we were moving to Florida. I knew I was moving to Florida, right? And I was like, we didn't know what house we were gonna get, what town it was gonna be in, all this stuff. And I knew the week. I wrote down on the week. I wrote on my thing, something's gonna happen on this day, or right around this date. And sure enough, the day before that, and that was weeks and probably about a month and a half ahead of time. I wrote this down. I was like, something's gonna happen on this day. And it turns out the day before I wrote that on my calendar, I wrote it on like the 25th, and on the 24th, we bought the house. We got the house. So anyways, I wrote down all these things that I saw and one of them was an alligator. And I'm like, duh, there's alligators in Florida. Okay, whatever. But as soon as we moved in, like the first day we went to the pond right in front of our house and there was an alligator in there. You know what I mean? So it's like you
Yeah.
never really know like what this stuff actually means until it happens. And intuition for ourselves is always hindsight 2020. It always is. You never, there's times where you're just like, what the F does that mean? That's really random. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you'll actually find out what it really does mean.
You actually helped me find my house, believe it or not.
What?
So I got a reading from you like a year ago. It was a long time ago. Oh, it was a while ago.
Yep.
But then you mentioned something about bananas, which is weird because I hate bananas.
Okay.
And I'm like, I would never, like, I'm just not a fan of bananas. But the house that we found was a for sale by owner.
Yeah.
And we walk up to the front lawn and he's like, hey, help me cut these bananas from this banana tree.
Oh my God.
And like, it was a year later, it was probably 8 months later. And I instantly knew, I was like, okay, this is my house.
Yep.
Thanks, bananas.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. That's so awesome that I can help you with that.
Yeah.
So
So
so good.
now we got bananas in my front yard and I love them. I love my banana
that's
trees.
so lucky, dude, I don't have any fruit trees. I'm upset.
We got banana, guava, orange,
you suck.
avocado.
Oh,
You live in Florida. They
I
grow
gotta
here.
I gotta plant one, or a few. Good for you. That's fantastic. Okay, cool. Mary, did you want to share anything?
Sorry, I was muted. Sure. Can I share what you did for me?
Oh, of course.
Okay. So Jamie said that let's see. So what was it about a past life?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, really cool because she had no idea, but she said in a past life that I was a witch, which I've always felt a huge pull towards that. I've had actual conversations with my sister about it, but then she said like, to get more into like the green witch stuff. And I seriously just bought this book like 2 weeks ago because I've been like, it's just interesting to me. But so that was really cool. But then you said you saw a bobcat, right?
Mhm.
Because I'm super protective, loyal. What else?
You'll know the right time,
Yeah.
to do things.
Yeah.
You know the right time, but you have to be calculated about it. And you are, I feel like you are cautious about those things, but that's important in
Yeah.
what you're doing. So
Yep.
all right, cool. Well, this is good stuff. This is a good class, right? Wasn't this so fun? This is why I love this class. It's my favorite. All right. Okay, cool, guys. All right, well, we will catch up and I'll see you next Wednesday.
See you later.
All right,
Thank
bye,
you.
everybody. Have a great night.
You too.
Bye.
Thank you.